more I read the red words and the more I pay attention to Jesus, I always found out how far I'm not. Like you always have a gauge of where you think you are, how mature you are, the progress you have, and then as soon as you do it, it's like Jesus is like, nah. It's almost like, remember on the part, he was like, you say if you lay with a woman, you commit adultery, but I say if you thought about it, you know what I'm saying? Or he's like, they actually go, so it's always a one-up. And the more I search him and look for him, I start seeing. So for me, man, I've been finding out a lot about myself. We've been at home, and we've been, no basketball is on right now, no sports for us fellas that like sports.
Right.
And so distraction level is at an all-time low.
Right. True story.
I mean, whether you watching Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu or whatever you're watching, or just on your phone, Instagram, whatever, there's still not enough of that to keep your attention all day long.
Right.
And so focus is inevitable. And so when you're doing it, I found out, man, that I'll be honest, man, I think I'm still a little bit more judgy than I want to be.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit more.
So how judgy do you want to be?
Well, right. How judgy? What's the level you want to be at? A level 10 judgy?
More judgy than it should
Well,
be.
I'm more to say being judgy. I guess I'll say judging off of the wrong standards.
Okay.
Because Jesus did say, as I hear, I judge. So it wasn't, he also said, judge not that you be not judged, but he's speaking of a certain thing.
Yeah.
He says, as I hear, I judge. But then he explains, he said, but my judgment is just. Because I'm only doing the will of the Father.
True story.
So I'm not sitting here talking to you about you based on how I feel about you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know
And
what
we
I'm
do a
saying?
lot of that.
Oh, my God.
So we all can say the same thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say it for myself. But if y'all want to go ahead and say it. Then,
True story, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then y'all watching too.
Here.
Here. Because I started considering, I'm always looking at myself and considering myself compared to Christ. We got a problem of comparing ourselves to each other as well.
Yeah.
Comparing ourselves to somebody we think is less of moral standards or whatever, and then feel good about yourself. But God told me the other day, no, don't compare yourself to nobody. Do it to me. You know what I'm saying? If you want to compare whatever, compare yourself there. And it challenges. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it really humbles you.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's really it really nothing else to say. It was like,
Yeah, with all that, you can't start judging other people.
right. And
You ain't got time for it.
Ain't got time. And then it's like,
Trying to stay.
then it's like God tell you stuff like that. Like Jesus show you that. It's like you can't argue with them. It's almost like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And then you got to like rethink your processing.
Yeah.
And I guess we don't try to come across as people that's really like,
Right.
Yeah.
something wrong with y'all. That's not
That's not our vibe.
right. That's not our vibe. But then he was like, that's still not enough. I'm like, what? Like what else? He said, die. I said, God, dog.
Yeah, I think subconsciously you think if you start a conversation about somebody's issues, you low key, if you're not dealing with it, you low key think
It's you better.
you have a hang on things when it comes to that, without considering the things you don't have a hang on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it does make you a little judgy.
Yep. No matter how good, it made me think about it, like you really, high-mindedness to me is, Romans talked about it, Paul talked about it in Romans, that no man should think more highly than he ought to think, but think soberly. It's a good thing he always said.
Yeah.
And I think high-mindedness is thinking that you have a grip and then believing in your ability to have a grip. Like your belief in yourself becomes your foundation, and that's when you lose.
That's dangerous.
Well, have you ever lost control of a car? I have. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, but you could drive.
Right.
You
Right.
drive pretty good, right? Like
Excellent driver.
Excellent driver, but there's this something in the conditions or something going on, and it makes you lose control of something that you were so sure of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about this before in another podcast, usually what they tell you is
Let go.
you gotta let the wheel go so that everything can run its motion. But I think the idea, like you're saying, that we just think we got to hang or something, so it feels like you're an authority on it now.
Yeah. Especially if you done went through something too.
Oh man, don't let you have a testimony. If you got a testimony,
Oh no, I know that one. I know that one.
See, here's what's wrong with you. Here's your problem.
Yep.
And I get helping people. I get the testimonies for a reason. But how?
Yeah. The
It's very, very
tone,
important.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Like the level of compassion. You should be more compassionate.
Right.
Because you know every day you're dealing with something. We were talking about this the other day. You know every day, when you realize that every day you're breaking through something
Yep,
that you used to have a problem with, now you're more compassionate about people breaking through whatever they have on their table. Or maybe it's totally different than yours, right? But
And that
you can
empathy
be
on a different level then.
Yeah, it's a whole nother
Yes.
ballgame. Yeah, because it hit home.
Yeah.
I have a story.
Hit home.
So I was not feeling well.
Okay.
Because it's about this. I wasn't feeling well, right?
Aw.
And like a week ago, that was last week.
Well, I bet they probably wanted to take you to the.
I did go to the grocery store and tried to hold in the cough, like
Oh my
the memes, like real life.
Hey.
Yeah, I was in the car like, let me get all these coughs out now before I walk in.
They gonna send you back to the car.
Hey.
But people look at you right now, boy. You sneeze a cough right now, boy. People look at you
Don't
like you got the
touch me, don't
plague.
look at me.
For
Anyway.
real.
Don't even clear your throat.
Right.
Well, you know when you're not feeling well, you're not supposed to eat a lot of sugar.
Right, truth. And cheese and dairy and
I
stuff
was
like that.
craving cookies.
Uh-oh.
You crave all the
And-
sugar, huh?
Look, and I just made my mind up that I wanted cookies, right? And I knew.
Oh, stubborn self.
I know, right? Deep down, I knew, like, this is not good for me. I shouldn't even be wanting this, knowing what it can do to me. It's going to make the issue worse.
Gonna clog you up
Make my
more.
problem worse.
Right.
And so I remember, like, going out to get cookies. And a thought came to me, like, for me, how can I judge other people from not having I don't want to say control. People who feel like they don't have control over their desires, or their desires cause them to do things that I may look down on, or I may say, they should be doing better. But really, they have a strong desire to do that thing, and they haven't gotten the hang of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So who am I to judge them when I'm out here getting cookies,
I'm
knowing
saying, you making a store run too.
right?
Hey, cookies. You
And
get
I'm
cookies
talking,
in the
it could
mist.
be drastic.
It's in the
Right.
midst of the storm.
Uh-huh.
It
Right.
seems simple, but the thought
It's
for
the
me
same.
was such a good example of how to have that empathy we were talking about.
And that's a sobering thought too.
Bruh.
It is. And
Who am I to say?
right.
It could be serious too. Like
Yeah.
cookies versus the worst thing you can
Well,
think
those
about.
are the biggest principles. Like when you find a simplicity in it, there's always a larger ratio.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you find the best principles in the simplicity.
Yep.
Cookies.
Bruh. And then it hit me like the only way I can overcome something like this is and this is dying, when you can be uncomfortable with the things you're comfortable with.
Yep.
Like you have to learn to, everything that you're comfortable with right now that's not good for you, like eating cookies when you're sick, but you're comfortable with it,
You see it, but you
just
think when you say-
anything,
Yeah.
right?
That's a problem though, yeah.
Yeah, you haven't died to that until you can be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like that's
Not
the
getting what
only
you
way
want.
through.
I get what you
bruh.
want, right? It's
That's
desires.
dying.
It's what you want, man. Like
Every day, that's a daily thing, and I think anything
it's
that
not a
we-
one-time thing.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a daily, and that's a trick. And I think if we don't understand that it's daily, then it'll become normal to us, and then we begin to think that way of living is right,
Yeah.
just because we didn't die
Daily.
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 Take up your cross daily.
Daily, if I, like daily, he's saying it's not a one-time thing. It's like why I tell people about the salvation prayer. Like you pray it one time, you think no, you born again is every day. You born again every day.
Presto
Every day.
changeo.
It's not magic, bro.
It's easy
Right.
and it's hard. It's easy and it's hard
Right,
because
right.
it can be
Right.
easy because it's the same. You're doing the same thing in every situation.
Yep.
And just a discipline though.
It's a discipline in the ease of knowing that the one thing is needed. Just dying daily.